Hi and welcome back to the channel. Well, my last video seems to have gone a bit viral with a massive uptick in subscribers, watch time, comments and interactions, all of which have been rather lovely. So as a bit of a thank you, and because it's been asked for, here is a sort of follow-up, a part 2 if you will, which dives into the subject with a lot more detail. So here we go. How I learned to stop noodling and love the tritone, part 2. Now, if you've not already watched that video, I suggest you go back and watch it. I'll put a link here somewhere on the screen and you can click through that. And yeah, then come back. You back? You come back, right, you're back, brilliant, okay. So this, dives into the tritone thing a bit more, all over the neck, different ways of doing it, different ways of joining things up. What it doesn't do is talk about phrasing, lines, shapes, patterns that you might want to play. That you've got to plug in yourself, okay? Well, that would be another video. This is focusing purely on the tritone and learning to nail those changes so it sounds like you know what you're doing. So, without further ado, let's blues. So this approach expands upon the idea of targeting the tritones. In the previous video, we were doing them in the middle of the pentatonic box, around the 5th fret on the D and the G string, but of course they're everywhere, so you need to know where they are. So that's our first step. So go as low as we can. We've got F sharp C on the bottom 2 strings. Oh, extra harmonic there. That's the tritone for D7. Go up a fret, G, C sharp. There's the tritone for A7. And then up a fret again, G sharp, D. Okay, brilliant. Now we can invert those shapes. It's symmetrical, so becomes, so same shape, string higher, 1 fret higher, and you get the same two notes the other way around. So now we've got C, F sharp, D7, C sharp, G, and D, G sharp. Do that again. We're back to where we started in the middle of the strings. And so this is nice symmetry, you know. Easy to find. Well, here's the fly in the ointment, of course. We're in standard tuning, which is a bit wonky. So that turns into this, which anywhere else on the neck would look like a perfect 5th, but no. So again, C, F sharp, C sharp, G, D, G sharp. And we can invert those as well. So we get F sharp, C, G, C sharp, and G sharp, D. Like so. So that's your first task really, is just to map those out, get familiar with them, and then we're going to exploit those as much as we possibly can. Right, for this recipe we're going to need a pound of potatoes, some whipped cream and a can of anchovies. Oh sorry, wrong video. No, we'll need 2 things for this. We're going to need the pentatonic scale in 3 positions and tritones on the top strings. So the 3 shapes you need, well, here's the first one. You almost certainly know this already. The minor pentatonic. No problem there, probably. Next one along. Put your second finger where your 4th finger was, and it starts you on the C. You've got the major pentatonic shape. And then the next one along from there, starting from the D. So we're going to join those up with the tritones that sit on the top 2 strings. So you've got your first one, G, C sharp, 1 fret lower, F sharp, C, and then 2 up for the E7. And they all link up quite nicely. So if we do the minor pentatonic, then from the major pentatonic, and then from the 3rd position to the E7. So from there you can start improvising around that and use those as your target notes. So standard pentatonic boxes are all very well, but there's a nicer way of doing this sort of thing, and they're what I like to call a modular pentatonics. One other way of putting that is 4 notes in a slide. Of course you've got 5 notes, you're playing 4 normally and sliding into the 5th. and these repeat themselves through the octaves. So I'll just give you a couple of examples here. So if you start with the G, you get G, A, C, D, and then a slide to the E. That puts my first finger over the next G in the next octave. So I do it again, and similarly here, but extra 1 fret, and I can come back like that. So the slide's in the middle. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can do this, and it's worth spending a bit of time experimenting and trying the options. Here's another one. You can take the major pentatonic scale and do this. Again, 2 notes on each string, C, D, E, G, and then you're going to slide to the A, and that puts my second finger over the next C, etc. So we can use these to join up to the tritones. So if I start with this one here, starting on the G, I can aim for the A7 tritone on the top 2 strings again. Like that. Or I can do it in the middle. And then I just veer off into the box. I can come down 7 tritone there, or here I can go, or so there's quite a lot of different ways you can join those up, and it's just a matter of targeting a particular tritone and starting from a particular part of the neck and making sure you end up on it. So you get a feel for where things are and where they, where you can find those notes that you need to resolve into whatever chord it is you're going for. And as I say, that's not to say you can't mix and match. So, and that's a really powerful thing as well. So, as I say, could do this one. So there I've done 2 octaves of the modular. Oops. And then just go into C, yeah. Like that. So there's loads of stuff you can do with this. So tip of quite a large iceberg. Might be necessary to do a video on that as well. Okay, so yeah, get slippy sliding. So here we're going to target the notes of the tritone through bending. Obviously bending is a fundamental part of the blues, and bending is a bit hero or zero. If you nail that note properly, you're a hero. If you don't, you're a zero. It's not good. It doesn't sound so great, does it? So I've got a little sustaining plugin going on here, so I can hit a note and it'll keep going. Now if you've got your 100-watt Marshall stack to hand, then crank it up, give it a go. But not everybody can do that. So yeah, I can just hold that, and I'm going to just basically keep the note sustaining. So here's how it looks. Okay, first pass, bending the notes on the G string. So bending C up to C sharp there, releasing it, and back up again. And then releasing it down to C for the D7. Oh, got a bit flat here. And up to C sharp. And all the way up to D for the E7. And then down through C sharp to C. C sharp. C, D, like so. Here's that same idea again, but this time we're targeting the notes on the B string. I've got my 3rd finger on the F sharp. That means I can bend up to G and G sharp, and I've got a bit of support from the fingers behind it. Let's go. Starting with F sharp bent up to G. For the A7, then down to F sharp for the D7. And then back up. and down to the D7, F sharp, and back up again for the A7. There's your G, up to G sharp, okay, and down to F sharp. Like so. Okay, so there you go. I hope you found that useful and informative. If you did, please click subscribe. You know, it's free. Little click. It's nothing. Also, I happen to know that about 80% of people watching this channel on a regular basis aren't subscribed. And YouTube emails me all your addresses, so I do know where you live. Just saying. Just putting it out there. That's all. It's not a threat. No. So, yes, click all that stuff. And I could do another video on this subject, to be honest. There's a whole bunch of other ideas that I could teach you about approaching these chords, which I haven't included in this video because I don't want to be 4 hours long. So if that's something you'd like to see, get busy in the comments.